he is. Let's get in a little hijinks. That's right. The most beautiful sports bar in South Florida. It's in Boca on Meisner Boulevard. Great place to go hang out. The sights are amazing. I mean, really, you walk on the streets of Meisner, lots of curves, lots of things to look at. And then, of course, there's also Hijinks Sports Grill that, it's got its own curves. It's got its own things to look at. So make sure you join us over there at Hijinks Sports Grill. Joe loves the wings over there at Hijinks because, of course, you go to Hijinks for the food.
Food is good. Drinks are good. Crowd is good. It's a good place to watch a game. It's a good place to hang out in general.
That's right. That's right. And guys, enough already, okay? The girls get offered to be married all the time, so proposals are going left and right. They're used to it, okay? So don't bring the proposals, all right? Relax. Just enjoy the views because we understand you're going to want to marry, 80% of the staff there. So relax there. Don't get into too many.
What are you drinking there, Big O?
Honey and lime. Do it all the time. The wife makes me one every day. And
just honey and lime, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, just honey. I mean, the kind of shit I say, there's probably some stuff in there. Yeah, you're right about that. But, it's only honey and lime. That's what we're selling right now. Hopefully you're buying. What can I tell you? Are we buying Mike McDaniel's stubbornness? And, I had some fun with this earlier in the week. He worked for Kyle Shanahan. Well, Kyle Shanahan and company had a 25-point lead in the Super Bowl. If they would have run the ball that night, they might have won the Super Bowl, but they chose to keep passing and stopping the clock and giving back the ball to the greatest quarterback in the history of time, and the greatest quarterback in the history of time came back on you because you helped him. Well, on Saturday, you had a chance to run on short downs, and you failed. Poupart, by the way, came up with that stat on third downs that they ran 8 times, they threw 8 times, only converted 1 against the Bills, and it was a run. And on 3rd and 1, they have rushed 11 times, converting 7. And we look at some of the stuff that's gone on. What happened in San Francisco where they kind of crowded the middle of the field. Well, the Chargers tried to do the same thing. You didn't have an answer for that. Mike Gesicki is a guy that can make plays for you. You're an offensive genius. Isn't it your job to make your offense better and put that guy in there somehow to make a couple plays for you? Because he can make plays, and he's a big target for Tua. Is Mike McDaniel's stubbornness a little bit of an issue for him?
McDaniel was a first-time, full-time NFL play caller. I think at the end of this season, he'll do a full evaluation of how it went, all the mechanics of the play calling, all the planning, everything that went into the pregame script, in-game adjustments. And he's a very transparent guy. He's not afraid to say, I would have done this differently, or I could have done this differently, or maybe this would have worked better, or they gave us a look that we didn't expect. We kind of thought it was going to be another look. And so I'm a big fan, obviously, of his transparency. And even this week, he said, look, I know that some fans are annoyed that we've done some passing on 3rd and 1 that hasn't worked out. He goes, I'm annoyed too. I thought it was going to work out. Everything he does is for a reason. I have written and I have talked about how you want to make sure you don't go down an Adam Gase path where Gase once said that he needs his assistant coaches, his offensive coordinator, to remind him to run the ball. I mean, look, this is a pass-heavy league. Matt LaFleur, the Packers coach, and Mike McDaniel, the Dolphins coach, work together. And one of the things that has separated them is that LaFleur has remained pass-heavy, while McDaniel has felt that a commitment to the run would give his teams an advantage. They certainly did in the San Francisco days. So McDaniel wants to run the ball. If he thought they could run the ball, he would. Obviously, in the last game, they did. Raheem Mostert was successful. And I do think that there were a few times in the fourth quarter where I would have liked to have seen the Dolphins try to run the ball. And, this week against the Packers, I think they will again try to run the ball because the Packers can be run on.
Yeah. Well, but I hope you abuse it. I hope you take advantage of it because it probably cost you a victory because you might have been able to extend drives. You might have been able to score points. You can keep Tua safer that way. You can make Tua even more dangerous the more you can run because the more you suck up those linebackers, the more you're going to open up the middle of that field, which you know what they do when you have the middle of that field open. They'll kill you, with all those cuts. So it's just one of those things that I hope he realizes that it's not just about converting that third down. It's about the domino effect of keeping those drives alive. You've got to have a wherewithal of or an awareness of my defense isn't good and it's not going to get any better. So what am I waiting for? Let me use the strength of my offense and oh shit, tonight we can run. Well, then let's extend drives. Let's keep Josh Allen off the field. I mean, there were so many positives to continuing to run the ball. And I get you want to pass, but my man, if you have that opportunity, take advantage of it. I hope
McDaniel is aggressive in general. We want our offensive play caller to be aggressive. They've gone for it on fourth down a bunch. They've been successful.
Yeah, but aggressive, not in 2-point conversion in the first quarter either. Aggressive. That's ridiculous. There's no chart in the world that tells you to do that. Joe, I get it.
I disagree with that.
The chart says this.
I think the chart did say that. Yeah, the chart did say.
Are you serious?
To go for 2 in the last game? Yeah, absolutely.
In the beginning of the game?
Yeah, no, I had no problem with that. Yeah, we disagree on that.
Oh, God, that's catastrophically stupid. You're on the road. You're moving the ball. Take the point. That was no, man. No, there's no way that makes any sense whatsoever. You got an entire game. Why would you go for 2 points?
Yeah, I think that the data, the scientists, the computer nerds, they got that all figured out. That was the right mathematical choice. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, no, I couldn't disagree with that call. That made zero sense to do that. I'm not sure exactly what math that they're looking at that makes any sense to do that at the beginning of a game. That to me is just baffling. All right, what are you concerned about for tomorrow? I mean, on Sunday.
Yeah, I was going to say we're celebrating.
I know Christmas. I got confused with the Saturday game from last week.
A lot of us are doing a Christmas Eve deal, but the Packers offense, obviously the Dolphins defense has been very disappointing. Dolphins coach Mike McDaniel agreed with me this week when I said that they have not met the level of expectations, that they have underachieved, underperformed, that their talent is better than what they've done. The fact that they're between 25 and 30 in scoring defense, third down defense, red zone defense, takeaways. I was glad to see defensive coordinator Josh Boyer accept some of the responsibility for what he agreed was below expectation results. A lot of injuries, but there's too much talent on the field to have those types of results. So the concern, it's Aaron Rodgers. It's can the Dolphins defense actually get off the field on third down, which they've been unable to do all season. That has been Josh Boyer's biggest frustration. That has been the biggest disappointment of the Josh Boyer defensive coordinator era here, because really he's been the defensive coordinator, but this is his defense. It's all on him. And on third down, they've been terrible. They've been woeful. They've been atrocious. They've been disgraceful. And these guys need to get it together. Boyer needs to get it together in the last 3 games. And so does Xavier Howard. So does Bradley Chubb. So does Jerome Baker. So does Landon Roberts. these guys need to perform at a higher level.
So is Chubb's lack of production fault all on Boyer?
All on Boyer? No, of course not. I mean, Chubb is adjusting to a new defensive scheme, new coaches, new teammates, a new city. It's not easy, but he is a physical specimen, and he told us yesterday when asked by young David Furonis
I saw it.
about his performance, gave himself a B.
Yeah,
Maybe
he
more like a C plus.
He overgraded himself. Yeah.
But he did say,
and by the way,
listen, Bradley's a nice guy. Bradley said
they haven't turned it up the notch. I don't know what notch he's talking about, but they haven't turned it up a notch. But
Bradley said that he
Wilkins turns it up a notch. Phillips turns up a notch, but not him. But go
ahead. Bradley said that he expects to dominate. He wants to dominate, and basically the plan is to dominate. So listen, we'll see if that happens here in the last 3 weeks. One thing about the edge position with the Dolphins, and we saw it at times with Jalen Phillips, we saw it at times with Emmanuel Ogbah. It's not just go kill the quarterback.
Of course,
they ask these guys to do a lot. And so, you have the hesitation, the mental processing, if I lose my edge, I let the whole team down. So edge is not an easy position in this defense. It's not like Von Miller, where he's basically told, Khalil Mack, where he's basically told, go kill the quarterback.
Right.
Chubb is not being told, go kill the quarterback. You remember Jalen Phillips really struggled early with the hesitation and I got to make sure I don't lose my edge. So I'm going to give Bradley a little bit of benefit of the doubt. He's learning exactly what the coaches want of him. But I would like to maybe see Chubb and Phillips just told, hey, go kill the quarterback. Now, I get it.
Well, they're going to be there are certain downs where you're going to get that kind of green light. And then there are certain downs where you're going to have to play your responsibilities, and it's going to have to be a disciplined type of pass rush, especially when you're facing a running quarterback. So that, containment, then attack kind of go in line. That's what happens. And that's all part of the game. Your instincts have to take over. So what I ask you now is, you like to break down the film. When you watched Bradley Chubb this week, what stood out to you?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't focus in on Chubb on every snap. Maybe that's something I'll do in the future here. I mean, obviously, he is making an impact for others. I would like to see him make more of an impact for himself.
He's not really getting a lot of double teams if you watch it. He's not really facing a lot of that. So it's
one thing to think about, that they want these guys to be, Melvin Ingram included, responsible against the run. And here's part of the reason. It's kind of a trickle-down effect. With no Brandon Jones, you got little Verone McKinley, who's good in coverage, trying to tackle people. And that doesn't work. He's not a tackler. He's a little dude. And Jerome Baker's strength is not tackling running backs between the tackles.
Nope.
So is a little bit of a trickle-down effect. You see Javon Holland playing closer to the line of scrimmage.
Right. So how do we blame Boyer when he has pieces that Landon Roberts can't do anything except stop the run?
Mike McDaniel agreed with me that they are underperforming, underachieving, not meeting expectations. Are you telling me that you disagree with me and Dolphins head coach Mike McDaniel?
Of course I do. Of course I do.
You don't think the Dolphins are failing to meet
I think Mike
defensive expectations?
You don't read into the bullshit Mike McDaniel feeds you every goddamn day?
Now you're anti-McDaniel. You've already
no. You're killing
the guy. Why are you killing him? You're killing the guy.
I'm not gullible. You might be a little gullible, but I'm not gullible. He won't tell you anything negative. He won't tell you that, we've hamstrung him with linebackers that can't cover in space, and Landon Roberts and Ingram. We've handcuffed him with another linebacker that is really not any good against the run. He's really a coverage, a blitzing kind of linebacker, a weak side guy in what's it called? Damn it. Who am I talking about now? We just talked about him right now.
Talking about Baker.
Baker. Exactly. And then, it's not his fault that X is dealing with the groin injury, clearly a shell of
Yeah,
himself.
you know what though? Listen,
It's not his fault. Hold on a second.
This X thing.
Hold on.
X needs to be better. The groin was like 3 years ago.
Yep.
Is the groin really bothering him all year? All year?
Do you think a groin injury is going to get better during a season?
Yes. This was like week 3.
You've never had a groin injury, have you? I had a groin injury that lasted 4 months, and I'm not an athlete. It lasted 4 months, and I don't have to play NFL football. I don't have to practice. I don't have to do any of that. He has to do that. There's no way his groin injury is going to get.
Groin's on the injury report.
In fact, I would not be surprised if he screws it up so much that he has surgery at the end of the year.
No injury report. How many weeks ago was Xavier on the injury report?
Wait a minute. Hold on a second. Are you going? Wait a minute. Are you going by an injury report that is accurate, you think? You think they don't hide injuries, that at the end of the year they tell you, oh, well, yeah, no, he was playing with this injury. Come on, Joe. Come on, buddy. You've been covering this league for a while.
Xavier Howard is an excellent player.
By the way, what was Xavier Howard's answer when they asked him? Because I don't know if it was you.
I did.
Yeah, you did? Okay. What was his answer when you asked him about the groin injury?
He said everybody's injured. Everybody's banged up. Nobody's 100%.
Yeah, he didn't deny. He didn't say, no, I'm 100%. No, that's behind me. He didn't tell you that.
Did Xavier miss some practice time due to a contract issue? I think so, right?
No, I think he's only missed. A training camp crap or whatever that he was like standing in.
The coaches brought that up as a contributing factor.
To what?
Earlier in the season, to his lack of
groin injury,
typical elite performance.
I listen. My point is that Boyer has got a bunch of players that are not really helping him. You know what I mean? It's basically.
I wrote a column about this in the Palm Beach Post.
Listen to this.
Christian Wilkins, Jalen Phillips, Javon Allen. These guys are all Pro Bowl caliber players.
Kohu and Sealer. It ends there. With 5 reliable people on defense every down. Everybody else is a liability. 5 guys. That's it, Joe. Josh Boyer has 5 guys he can count on. Everybody else has got all kinds of problems in their game for one reason or another. Chubb hasn't found his way. X is injured. Ingram can only do one thing, either pass rush or help you in the run. And Landon Roberts can only stop in the run. He's a 2-down linebacker at best. He can't cover at all. You got little Vernon McKinley out there. That poor kid's doing the best he can. Keon Crosson's so limited. I mean, you look around, there's so many players that can't do their jobs, dude. Raekwon Davis, enough already, bro. What have you done? You've got an old man that is getting as many snaps as you. And what's McDaniel telling you? He gives you a bullshit line. Well, he's played so well, we got to give him time. Bullshit. It's that Raekwon Davis has been so disappointing. We got to give the old man more time, but he's not going to tell you that. I love McDaniel, but I know coach talk, and I can read
McDaniel's job. McDaniel's not the guy to tell us that Raekwon Davis has not lived up to expectations. Josh Boyer would be the guy, because Josh Boyer is the head coach of defense. Mike McDaniel had it suggested to him that it would be a smart idea to keep Josh Boyer around. He has given Josh Boyer complete and total control of the defense. And unfortunately, the defense has failed to live up to expectations, and credit to Josh Boyer. He is accepting some of the responsibility for the disappointment. I credit him for doing that.
And yet, the defense has kept you in every game this season. Having said everything that you can say, you can throw all the stats you want out there. The defense has kept them in every game so the offense can finish them off. And the offense has failed to finish them off in those games. And that's why
has failed. What are you talking about? This team is in the top 5 in like everything.
Yeah.
Scoring, yards per play, passing offense.
Stats are really nice. stats are really nice, my brother, but stats don't tell you the entire story. What happened in the Buffalo game? Why didn't you run so you can
What
extend
happened in
some
the Buffalo
drives?
game? The Dolphins allowed Josh Allen to go 80 yards in the snow on the last drive.
Yeah, and you had 2 receivers drop touchdowns at the beginning of the game. That's 4 points right there that you left on the field. The extra point, that's 5, my friend. And the coach made a mistake on putting Braylon Sanders in a play that if the child just runs down the field, he ends up with a touchdown. Instead, he stops to play defense. That was a touchdown that Tua threw. But because you put the wrong player in that position, because he failed earlier in the season, there was no reason to play him. But again, you want to believe that line that he was practicing that position, so that's why he plays over Ezukama. No, dude, Ezukama ain't playing because he's so far behind. But is he going to tell
Wes
you
Walker
that?
told us that. Wes Walker told us that. Wes Walker is a straight shooter, bro.
Yeah,
he said
I
kid's
get
not
it.
ready to play. Kid's not ready to play. They gave us the answer.
McDaniel
Listen, there are no
that.
secrets here.
He didn't say that.
This is a transparent error. This is not the Brian Flores error. These guys are telling us the truth.
No.
Yeah, they are.
McDaniel will tell you the truth to a certain extent until he has to be critical, and then he will then create some story and all that. What did he tell you for Ezukama? He didn't say he wasn't ready. He said, well, no, that Braylon Sanders happened to be practicing that position and that route, so we used it.
It's not a lie. These guys don't lie.
Come on. It's not a lie. It's misdirection. You know what I mean?
Listen, I got to go to the Mike McDaniel Friday press conference. There's not a lot of big news that we're expecting to come out of this. What are the injury questions? Jeff Wilson, who told me he's feeling better and is kind of hopeful but not sure, so we'll see if he's able to go. I don't know if Mike McDaniel is going to tell us if left guard Liam Eichenberg is going to be activated. I suspect he is going to be activated, and it sure sounds like they want to put him in at left guard for Rob Jones. We'll see how that plays out.
Last 2 weeks, they loved his last 2 weeks, bro. They were convinced in that building that he had turned the corner those last 2 weeks.
We're gonna see. Check out my stories in the Palm Beach Post. I've written about how we're overlooking Jalen Waddle's potential superstardom. I wrote about the disappointing Dolphins defense. And for the record, I think the Dolphins will win on Sunday, and I think they will make the playoffs, and I think they have a decent chance to actually win all 3 of their remaining games.
I hope they do. They should. So make sure you call Zach Wilson, bro. He needs some help there. Help the kid out, bro.
I feel bad for that kid. It's funny how quickly you can go from like schmuck jerk douche to like, I kind of feel bad for him now.
New York, bro. It's a brutal place, bro.
Brutal
place. All right, follow him on Twitter at Schad Joe and catch his work there at the Palm Beach Post. We will talk to you on Sunday, my friend.
All right, see you, bud. All right,
you got it. There you go. The great Joe Schad. Humble and a little naive. That's our Hijinks, sportsgrill.com Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show.